Hey, what's up everybody on YouTube? This is your buddy PS3 Cold Blooded, and today I'm bringing you guys a little footage of Array, which is probably one of my least favorite maps, and also I'm going to be telling you guys a story about how I almost got raped. Yeah, it was super fantastic. It was super awesome, but that's complete sarcasm. But anyway, I'll get to the story. Me and my buddy that we worked together cleaning windows, and we had to go out of town about 4 hours to a place called Shawnee, Oklahoma. So on the way there, the car died, and it's a manual, so we push started it, got it going again, called a bunch of part houses trying to look for an alternator because we figured out that that's what the problem was. Couldn't find one. The closest place that had any kind of alternators was an hour and a half back the way that we came in Fort Smith, Arkansas. So it was like, well, this is just not gonna be good. So we ended up going there, and then we got done with there, went to Podo, Oklahoma on the way back home, stopped, ate at an Arby's. Derek said the car was running great, everything was looking good, we should be able to make it home. It's only like a 45-minute trip back home. So that was the plan. We all hopped in the car and we started heading down the road towards Mina. And so we're coming back home, and out of nowhere the car just starts shaking, like hard, shaking really hard. And so I'm like, hey, turn off the lights. So he turns off the lights and it stops shaking. So we still have enough battery power to keep the car going, we just don't have enough battery power to keep the car going and keep the whatever you call it, the headlights on. So I look on the GPS, and we're only 2 miles away from the Oklahoma-Arkansas state border. So we just drive for 2 miles with no headlights in the middle of the night, and we make it to this bar. And when we get to the bar, we go in and we ask, hey, can we use your guys' electricity? Because we had bought a car charger, like a battery charger, and so we just needed to charge it enough just to get the 15 minutes the rest of the way home. So she said, yeah, like the barmaid, she said, yeah, if you can tell me when Arkansas got electricity. And I'm like, well, shit, I don't know. I just live there. I'm not from there. I don't know anything about the history of Arkansas and how it became the state. And so we both guessed, and we were both wrong. And so I was like, well, can you get me a Budweiser? And she said, yeah, sure. So she gets me one, and then she says electricity's on the side. So Derek goes outside, and he goes to hook everything up, and the lady looks at the guys that are also there in the bar, and she's like, this guy looks interesting. I'm like, oh god, no, please no, please no. She's like, you look like you got a lot of stuff going on in your head. I'm like, oh no. No, I don't. I just have a little bit going on up there. There's not much. And she goes, well, there's a lot of stuff in my head. And she grabs this toothpick and she hands it to me, and she goes, here's a toothpick, you want to pick my brain? Like, what? Are you kidding me? I just had the weakest one-liner on the face of the planet actually used against me. This is going really bad really fast. And so I'm laughing, you know, just playing it off like it's no big deal. And she looks at the guys again. She goes, he's cute. You want to go talk at the picnic table? And I'm like, oh god. Oh god. No, I really don't want to talk at the picnic table, but what can I say? No, I don't want to talk to you. She's let me use her electricity, and I need to get back home. I want to go to bed. And so I'm like, okay, fine. So we go over there, and we're sitting at the table, and she's like, you look like you play music. I'm like, no, I don't play any music. She goes, you look like Charlie. I'm like, Charlie Hellum? She's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I guess I could kind of maybe see it. We both have dark hair. That's about it. But so Charlie Hellum is a guy that's famous around here, around Mina, for making music. And so I'm like, well, no, I don't play any instruments. And she's like, are you sure? You look like you play some instruments. I'm like, I play a really mean air guitar. So when I say that, she gets up out of the picnic table, and the song that's playing on the jukebox at the time, she starts playing the air guitar to it and singing it very loudly. So I'm like, oh my god, like with a loaded gun, wanting to shoot my brains out. Not really, it was just my finger. But, you know, still, it was, oh, wow. It was insane. I thought she was going to, like, pull out her wooden teeth and be like, you want a little something, sugar? Oh, so, I'm laughing. And she's like, well, hey, what are you doing later? I'm like, going to bed. She's like, well, why don't you just, wait for a couple hours? I'll be getting off, and then we can go have some fun or something. I'm like, oh, no. Please, no. No, Daddy, no. I don't want any of this. Well, the guy, the Farmer Fred dude that's in there, one of the guys, I call him Farmer Fred because I don't know his name. He had one eye, like, off to the side, right? And they're talking, and they're paying attention to each other, so I'm like, okay, this is my cue to go. I got to get up. I got to get out of this place. So I get out. We load everything up into the car real quick. I'm like, Derek, I'm about to get raped. He's like, oh, God, let's get out of here. So we get out. Everything's in the car. We're about to leave, and Farmer Fred comes out. I'm like, oh, God, I'm about to get it. I'm about to get it. He's like, hey, if you go home with her tonight, I'll buy you beer for the rest of the night, and I'll give you 20 bucks. I'm like, oh my God, Farmer Fred's trying to get me the hookup of something I don't want. I don't want it. I should have just went and said something like, I have AIDS. Really, I don't, but, you know, I should have said that I did. Because then he'd have been like, you know, left me alone. Or came up with something really good, like, my crabs have herpes. That'd have been a good one. Yeah, I'm so messed up, my crabs have herpes. But she probably would have been like, me too, let's go do it. But anyway, we ended up making it back home. And that's my story about almost getting raped in Oklahoma. This is PS3 Cold Blooded. Hope you guys dig those scores. And I will catch you guys on the flip side.